Hello everybody, welcome to this week's weekly pick a card reading. Thank you so much for being here. So as always, we have 3 piles. This week we're going to use Aura Quartz. So we have a green, a pink, and a blue Aura Quartz for pile 1, 2, and 3 respectively. Timestamps will be in the description box in the comment thread down below. Now some people like to pause the video, feel intuitively drawn toward a pile. If you want to do that, you are absolutely welcome to. Although not everyone always feels intuitively drawn, I always say if you don't, you can just randomly select a pile because I always say there's an element of destiny involved. So again, timestamps for each pile in the description box in the comment thread down below. See you in just a sec. All right, pile number 1, you guys selected the green Aura Quartz. So let's go ahead and see what comes through for you, starting with the Child Divine card. Okay, what I love about this deck is it gives both a light attribute and a shadow attribute. Now, this may relate to either yourself or someone that you know. Okay, I specifically picked this deck to be the very first card that comes out to help give you context to things. Okay, so you can kind of fill in the details of your life a little bit. So the light attribute says, innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. On the shadow side, this says an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. You may relate to that, both sides, either one or the other or both. And you may see that in other people. Now, I feel like this week, it's going to be important to pay attention to your inner child a little bit because there's again, I love the word innocence, right? Innocence, purity. There is this innocentness that is trying to come forward. And I think there's also a lot of forgiveness that comes through with the child energy as well. I'm also kind of getting the image of like a puppy, you know, who like just so readily forgives, just like, oh, you step on their tail, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And they like forgive you within like 5 seconds. I kind of feel like it's like that sort of bounce back, that sort of resilience of just completely remaining unattached to pretty much everything, but being open to pretty much everything as well, being open to experience, open to new paths, open to playfulness, open to joy, and just being really you. And I love that that's connected with the green Aura Quartz because we know that the green is connected with that heart chakra. So there is the quality of being led by heart. And we're not overthinking things. We're not killing things with our thoughts, you know, we're just moving forward. So let's see what comes through here. Queen of Coins, Temperance, 5 of Wands, we have a 7 of Coins. Oh, the Sun, which of course is the card that represents the Leo archetype. The Leo and the child are intrinsically connected there. And then we also have the 5 of Swords. With the 5 of Wands and the 5 of Swords, it does indicate that there is some kind of adversarial energy, okay? It could be little tension within the home, within your partnerships, or in the workplace, or with your family, or whatever, with neighbors, you know, just a little bit of tension. And I know that, like, I know we're past the eclipse season now, so I'm sorry for, like, keeping talking about it, but coming off of that eclipse season, it was a lot. And I think a lot of people kind of felt like you were going through some kind of withdrawals or something, like, oh my gosh, that energy was so intense building up to it and then coming down. Like, it took a while. And a lot of people didn't handle that very well. A lot of people trying to control things, which again, with a child energy, there's not a lot of desire to truly control things, but more so to go with the flow and to just be that shining light that you know that you are, without a lot of filters and without a lot of editing. I see that there are things, right? Queen of Coins, there are things, seeds, new beginnings in store for you here. And it's going to require what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the word I'm looking for. But it's going to require consistent effort in your part in the more mundane realms. It's going to require you to answer the emails. It's going to require you to make the phone calls. You're going to have to, you know, go to someone's office. You're going to have to make that doctor's visit. You're going to have to do these things. And I see you doing those things with a sense of lightness, though. It doesn't feel like drudgery, because I think when you look out in the world, you see a lot of people who are succumbing to the drudgery of things. And when I look at this shadow attribute, right, an inability to defend oneself against negative forces, I think the Five of Wands and Five of Swords are really connected with those people, quote unquote, those other people who have just completely given their power away in so many ways that when they try to get even an inkling of it back, it feels so uncomfortable, and they can kind of go overboard and do it in all the wrong kinds of ways. And I feel like you're kind of taking this step back in a highly observant, very Queen of Coins, cool, calm, collected kind of way, very temperate, moderate, zen, observant, detached, right? You look upon these things, you look upon these people, and you say, either that's here to teach me a lesson of some kind, or it's here to provide contrast, one or the other. And for many of you, it will be to provide contrast, because there is in no way, shape, or form a day when I see a Queen of Coins upright and a Temperance card together being the type of person or being the type of individual that succumbs to the drama and the pettiness of the Five of Wands. Like, I just don't see it. So I see you on the outskirts looking in a little bit and saying, that's not me. And it's not to judge those people, but rather to give you a better indication of the direction in which you're headed, which is very different. And sometimes it's important to have that gauge, right? To have that knowledge of this is where those people are going and this is where I am going. And it is two very different places. Now, the Seven of Coins is an indication that you've worked very hard, but that you're also kind of taking stock. I often look at this as like an inventory card, or sitting down with your accountant and going over your balance sheet. What are your assets? What are your liabilities? What are the equities, right? Where do you stand? It's a very objective, unemotional process. And when you're honest with yourself in that way, when you look at like what is, you're better equipped to move forward in certain directions, okay? Seventh house, partners. Now, this card came out last week as well. Not sure if you guys selected that pile. And there could be a partnership involved. Kind of interesting that that's coming out right on top of the Child card. Hopefully your partner, if for those of you who are coupled, hopefully your partner is not acting like the shadow attribute of the Child, which is creating drama and pettiness because your partner may have given away a little too much power. Hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully that's not the case for you. In fact, actually what I feel with this could be romantic partners for many of you, could be any kind of one-on-one type of partnership or connection that you have, any kind of agreement that you may have with someone else. I actually feel a sense of maturity coming through here. I feel like there is a us against the world quality. At least that's what could be. You know, if you and your partner are like truly in each other's corners, then that's absolutely what it could be. If there are any issues that are not resolved between the two of you, it's likely that there could be some kind of a flare-up, some kind of argument, but that's fine. That's okay, because it gives you, you know, the opportunity to clear the air and to communicate your needs and to be very clear and open and honest with where you're both at. Okay, let's see what Annie's doing. Is she going to come on my lap? I'm trying to think. We don't really have any planets in Libra, but we do have the ruler of Libra, Venus, in her retrograde position. So a lot of people are going to be having an added emphasis or an added focus on the one-on-one connection. Some for the better, some for the worse. Some will sort of muddle through. But truly, this is a time where many can transform their relationships for the absolute best. And hopefully that's you guys. your commitment is being tested. Okay, well, yeah, your commitment is, oh, she just dropped my cards. You know, one of the things they say about like cats, like if they come in and they don't mess with your magic tools, then you know that it's your familiar. I'm like, I don't think Annie is my familiar at all. She's so destructive. But anyway, your commitment is being tested, and everyone's commitment to something is going to be tested. We all have attachments to certain things. We have attachments to people. We have attachments to goals. We have attachments to ideas. And here it is, like, are you going to hold your conviction? Are you going to stay focused? Are you going to stay positive? Are you going to be dedicated to the growth and to the work that is needed and required for this particular commitment to thrive? Or is it time to move on? See, one of the things that I think you see when you look out there and you see the drama and the pettiness out there, you realize how different you are, one, but you also realize that probably there are things that need to change in reflection of that as well. If you're associating with a lot of dramatic people, maybe your circle needs to change. If you are in a relationship that is fighting and quarreling and resolves nothing, if that's the case, then is this really the relationship for you? What does it say about you? And is your commitment toward trying to make something that isn't working work, or is your commitment to something else? A lot of hard questions, I think, with Venus retrograde. A lot of hard questions. Don't let your past hold you back. Actually, I want to say, don't let your past keep you stuck. That's really what I want to say. Don't let your past keep you stuck. The past is not really real anymore. It's real only in memory. It is alive only through memory. And what is memory? What even is it? And if your past has created fear, if your past has created insecurity, a sense of lack of value, then what good is it? With the son and the child, this is about innocence, purity, a time before the world imposed its negativity all over you, right? It's about that time that happened before. The time when you didn't need healing because you were so whole and complete and perfect in what you were. And even there was a time when even others were celebrating how beautiful and perfect and innocent you were. For some reason, that changes as we grow into an adult. But we can always get that back if we embody that and if we instill that within our own lives. Truth. Yes, a lot of truth coming out with this Venus retrograde, for sure. It's not easy truth sometimes, but it might be truth that's easily accessible, but sometimes it's the action that needs to be taken in light of that truth. When you finally sink into a real realization, right? When you finally sink into that, and you lean back and you allow it to be true, somehow when you do that, things tend to iron themselves out. Emotional loss. There might be some loss for some of you, sure. There might be some... I feel like, I don't even have cards of like walking away, but I am getting a feeling that some of you are walking away from something, right? Your commitment is being tested. Your commitment to what, though? That's what you need to be really, truly honest about. Your commitment to what? What are you committed to? Some people are committed to toxicity. They're committed to banging their head against the wall. They are committed to self-sabotage, like 100%. They would never say that. Hopefully with this truth card they will. But some people are committed to that. Others are committed toward freedom, toward love, toward forgiveness, toward growth. And because of that commitment, they may need to amputate a situation, right? Just cut it off, get it off. It's not gonna, not gonna be functional anymore. We have a social media connection. I like this deck because it's just a little bit more specific. It's a little bit more modern. There could be something going on social media wise. I actually am feeling like this is an opening of something. I don't quite know why I feel that, but I feel like there is an initiation or an opening. I think there are going to be a lot of subtle endings. There's a lot of closure with this Venus retrograde that's happening right now. Well, technically on the 19th, but she's coming into her, she's in conjunction with Pluto right now, so that's why I can talk about it now. So with the closure of one thing, another thing opens, likely via social media on some level, within 1 month. Okay, so there is a month time frame on this, which I kind of like that. So it doesn't mean that all of this stuff is going to change all this week. I know this is a weekly reading, but sometimes these readings come as like a, hey, heads up kind of quality. Within 1 month, there will be changes. Within 1 month, Venus will be finishing out her retrograde. Within 1 month, things are going to be different. Situations, circumstances, financials, relationships, conversations, right? Things will be different. And for some reason, this card is like smacking me in the face right now. Your commitment is being tested. Your commitment is being tested. Make sure that you're committed to the right things. Detach. See what I said with the Temperance card? Detach is a big word, I think, to use. It's what keeps you objective. Like I say, you're sitting down with your accountant, you're just taking stock of where things are at. You don't have to be so emotionally involved here. The child energy comes through in terms of, riskiness and fearlessness and being able and capable to do things that you never really thought you would do or that you don't even necessarily feel safe to do. It's kind of exploratory. It's a nature of discovery here. And when you are detached from the past, right? Don't let your past hold you back. You detach from the past. You walk in truth. You remain committed to the things that you know are right for you. You remain in this Zen place with a practical mind. A lot of things can happen with that that was the word I was looking for before, methodical, very methodical process. We also have Shaman, Ancient Healing Wisdom. I feel like this one came out last week as well, or the week before in one of the piles for the weekly bump. You are the child, the divine. It's not just child, divine. Suggests a special connection with the divine. Is there a difference between a child and a shaman? I don't really think so. The only thing that a shaman has that a child doesn't is worldly context. But they are one and of the same because they are operating from the same wisdom, which is why we learn so much from children. We learn so much about life. We learn so much about how we change. And then the last card, choices. Make the best choices. There are going to be choices. There always are, every single day. Every second of every day there is a choice. But I think there might be some big ones that you may be facing. Job-wise, financial-wise, relationship-wise, the whole gamut. And the thing about Venus is she's not just about love and money and self-worth. She is also about the things that you truly value in this world. Some of you are going to have some kind of a cold, harsh reality wake up in terms of what is worth being valued and what is not worth being valued. Or you are going to come into a deeper understanding of what it is you are actually valuing about certain situations that is no longer serving. Because you may tell yourself you value this thing up here, but really this is a surface level value, and what you really value down here is keeping a narrative alive in your life. And the question is do you really want to keep that narrative alive? My guess is no. So big week, but not dramatic. Not dramatic at all, just observant. Requires new kinds of action. Requires honesty. Very simple, but powerful as well. All right. Thank you so much, Pile 1. I love you. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Alrighty, pile number 2, welcome to your weekly reading. So let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, we got pink on pink here. Okay, Martyr. Now, this card, I specifically wanted to pull this one out first this week. Now, this may apply to you, or you may be seeing this in someone else. Okay, I just want to like put that out there that this might not be you. You may be seeing this in someone else. Now, the Martyr. This deck has a light attribute and a shadow attribute. It says the light attribute, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. And then the shadow attribute is the addiction to self-pity. Now, I don't know why, but intuitively, I feel like many of you are dealing with, whether within yourself, but more likely within someone else, the shadow attribute, which is an addiction to self-pity. I don't know why I'm feeling so drawn to that shadow attribute. Maybe it's just the word martyr kind of has that sort of connotation to it. Think about you. Think about your life, how far you've come, how far you've worked to get to where you are. And think about how you witness so few others doing the same. And there may be someone very close to you who is in a bout of self-pity right now. Now, the one thing to really do here is, obviously, we don't want to enable anybody, but we definitely want to be strong, and we want to ask ourselves, is this person capable of, advice? Is this person capable, or rather, of taking advice? Is this person dedicated toward growth, toward self-development, towards self-knowledge? And if they are, then maybe you can act as a guide. But for many of you, the answer will be no, they simply are not. And you're going to have to separate yourself from them, I feel. With the light attribute, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Sometimes I feel like service is a little misinterpreted by like always being there, by always doing something, by always providing, by always taking care, by always paying attention. But maybe the greatest service of all is to transcend the situation. Can I say that? Can I even say that? So let's see what comes out here. 6 of Cups, 10 of Swords, Queen of Cups. I have to laugh a little bit. 10 of Swords is often the martyr card. So we do have a little bit like martyr energy coming out. And the Lovers. Oh, and I just happened to see this here. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I have to say this. Libra, I balance. Now, a lot of Venus, 7th house, Libra, partnership energy came through last week as well. I'm not surprised that it's coming through this week too, because it is the Venus retrograde. So we may just have a lot of Libra, Venus type qualities, also Taurus energies as well. Makes sense that that's a little bit of a theme, but I just happened to see that, so I just pulled it out to tie it in. We've got the Lovers here. There is a balancing going on. This has to be balanced out by the Ace, right? Where one thing ends, another thing has to begin. Something is very much coming to a close. This particular Venus retrograde is very much about endings. For those of you who are in unbalanced situations, it doesn't have to be romantic, but for many of you it might be. If you are in unbalanced situations, now is the time for this to be rectified. And it's either going to work and transform, or it's not. This particular martyr energy, you have to be very careful with it, because you have to be very dedicated to understand as to whether or not that which you are fighting for, or that which you are giving up for, self-sacrificing for, is that really for the best? Or is it really just self-punishment, self-pity, self-sabotage, or whatever else? Is this balancing worth it? Right? Are you going to be able to truly balance it by giving? Or will it only become balanced if you take your power back? There's the Queen of Cups, Knight of Coins. We have a Cancerian energy. We have a Virgo energy. We have a Gemini energy here with the Lovers, Libra here. Now with the Cancerian and the Virgo energies here, there is a quality of deep compassion, but also practicality. You can be deeply compassionate about people and people's pain, but it doesn't mean you can take on the responsibility for it. See, a Queen of Cups often will, she's so loving, so compassionate, so intuitive, so deeply divine feminine, that she can dive into that kind of chaos. A Knight of Coins doesn't really have that ability to dive into that chaos. And I think this in some way, shape, or form is acting like an anchor that is keeping you on shore when you are very close to diving into this Ten of Swords. I don't think this Ten of Swords belongs to many of you. Some of you, yes, maybe, but I don't think really it's most of yours. I'm feeling a lot of other people energy. I felt that in the first reading. I feel that in this reading as well. There's a lot about other people. It's like you versus them. And there's a lot that's being said about you in relation to them. This Ten of Swords is not you. Let's not get it all mixed and mingled here. But the temptation to acquire that, or the temptation to take on the responsibility for that, seems quite substantial. Six of Cups tells me there's a past connection, so there might be a past thing. You know, we don't just have a Venus retrograde, we also have a Mercury retrograde on top of all of this Venus-Pluto stuff. So there may be, and I hate to perpetuate that stereotype that, oh, every Mercury retrograde and X come back, or every Venus retrograde and X comes back. I feel like that's a little too dumb of astrology, but Six of Cups does often bring out past. Ten of Swords, there is something. There's a Libra energy, okay? I mean, there is something there. I'm not saying it's going to happen for all of you, but even just the notion of something, or the pain of something, or the trauma of something may resurface. But it's for the sake of endings. It's for the sake of like really putting a pin in it, really letting it to die. Ace of Swords is about a new mind, new clarity, new vision, seeing things in a completely a new way. And I love this for the Libra energy. I often see this as being very Libran, even though it's an ace, but it is like the equilibrium point of the Libran scales. And then the Lovers, of course, Gemini energy, also a dualistic, right? We've got the two sides of the Libra scale, and we have the two twins of the Gemini. So there is something about duality, your side and their side, and the two parts of you. This is you operating in wholeness within yourself, in completion within yourself. And it is from this place of wholeness that you get to deal with whatever this Ten of Swords thing is, whatever this martyr energy is. This is a time to be strong mentally. It's a time to be strong practically. Practically, does it make sense to revisit something? Probably not. The Lovers can bring out a passion. The Libran energy can definitely bring out a passion. But make sure that that passion is not rooted in the shadow element of the martyr. Don't let pride get in your way, right? Pride, ego, dedication to your trauma, dedication to keeping your pain alive. Don't let pride get in your way. I think with this Knight of Coins, there is a humility that comes through here. See, the pride part of you, the queen part of you says, oh, well, I can fix this. I can, I can jump in here. Now, this may not be romantic. This could even be something at the office, right? It could be something within the community. I don't care. You jumping in and saying, well, I can fix it. I can step in. That's the arrogance. The Knight is like, whoa, nope, let's scale this back. We're not that experienced. Okay, we're not qualified to do that. That's not our role. It's not our bit. That's why I kind of think he is walking in this direction here toward the Lovers. Everything seems to be anchored on this side with the Lovers, with the major arcana. So it's kind of pulling in this direction, even though she's kind of leaning, right? Kind of a little bit leaning toward that Ten of Swords a little bit, but it's all kind of washing in this direction. Show the world the real you. The real you is self-respecting. The real you will only give service to something that truly makes the world a better place. This is not a place of betterment of society, Ten of Swords. This is a place where someone really needs to acknowledge where they are and do some inner work, right? Now, there's a lot of love, right? We often taught Jesus, the ultimate martyr, right, kind of thing. Died for a good cause, if you will. And I feel that that's actually a very Aquarian type of love. Show the world the real you. There is a quality of love there. It's authentic. It's not cowering to be what other people want you to be. That's a good cause, I would say. There's a quality of authenticity really shining through here, which is really great. Obstacles and challenges. Other people providing or creating speed bumps, hurdles. I think the real challenge is, do you jump down this hole or not? Right? Here's some guy walking on a ledge and it's broken, right? So do you jump down into the hole or do you just jump to the other side and keep going? This is jumping into the hole. This is jumping to the other side and keeping going. I think that is the best use of your time. That is the best use of your self-growth there. I hate to say don't help people, but I think you know the difference between helping people that really appreciate it and acknowledge it and understand it, and helping people that just suck you dry. Sacral chakra. I know that's the second chakra. There's a lot of creative energy that comes through there, a lot of passion, a lot of sexuality. There is something with love. There is something with sexuality. Some of you may be feeling very fiery, very sexual. Okay, what did I say? Sometimes I swear, an ex involved, coming back, the past, Six of Cups, past life stuff, an ex coming back. Yeah, I mean, not for all of you, please don't hold me to that, but whether it's the actual person showing back up or the memory of them or the lesson that you learn from them. Annie's giving me a look like, oh, please, don't even, as she kind of falls asleep standing up. It's not a problem. This person, this memory, this wound, this trauma, it's not really a problem. This is an opportunity for you to really love yourself in this moment and to choose what's truly best for you. Codependent issues. That's the Queen of Cups. There is a little martyr in you, I think. There was in the past. Let's say that. Not now, but there was in the past. There was that part of you that dove in and took on the responsibility for other people. I'm not going to say that. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it. Awaiting results. I almost kind of feel like this is you waiting for this other person to prove that they're different now. I feel like people are needing to prove something to you. That's why you're so anchored in your own completeness, in your own wholeness, because in the past you would have dove in, but now this person needs to prove to you that they are not codependent, that they have grown, that they are not whatever, fill in the blank here anymore. And you're like, I'll wait. Like, you can show back up, you can pop back up all you want, but I'm going to remain unfazed. And if you want me to see something, then show me. Don't just tell me. Communion, eagle. This is the wholeness and your connection and your rootedness in your own divinity. There is a quality of peace. There is no pride. There's even an energy of awe. I feel like that sense of wonderment and awe about the universe itself, about the complexity of the higher intelligence, about the way things all piece together so perfectly. I feel like this, an X involved, is so perfectly timed for you in your life, specifically so you can showcase to yourself just how much you have grown and just how dedicated to growth you have been the past several years. Last but not least, moving forward, get ready for positive change. I think all of this whole story is rooted in positive growth. That's what the point of all of this is. It's to highlight your positive growth and to accentuate the current trajectory of growth that you are currently on. You are not dealing with codependent issues anymore, right? You're not going to get entangled in something that truly you know is not worth getting entangled in, even though the temptation is there and will continue to be there. It does not mean that you will self-sabotage in this way. And I think that there's going to be like a lot of self-pats on the back here, a lot of self-congratulations, because you're going to say, like 3 years ago, I would have done it. I would have gone back. I would have answered their phone call. I would have picked up the phone and texted them drunk one night. Like, I would have done that. And I'm not doing that now. That says a lot about me. And that's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to leave you with that. And Annie, I'm not sure if she's going to fall over or not. Kind of looks like she's going to fall over, but we shall see. All right. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your weekly reading. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, we have the Goddess card. Beautiful. Now, I love this deck because it has the light attribute and the shadow attribute. Now, one thing I did want to say with this particular deck, I pulled this card out specifically first because this may represent you or an attribute of you, or it may also represent somebody else. And that someone else may give context to the rest of the card. So just keep that in mind. So it could be you or them or both, okay? Goddess, the light attribute, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Shadow attribute is the exploitation of the female nature and form. Now, that's a really brutal accusation, I would say, right? The exploitation of the female nature and form, like the manipulative qualities, the chaotic and stormy energies, the demanding energies. There's a lot of things that could really come through there. And some of you may have, you know, personal experience with that, or you may have been guilty of that at some point in your past. I'm not sure. But I think for you, this is leading you toward the lighter and lighter and lighter quality of the goddess energy. You're understanding. Now, you may relate more or less to the divine feminine, and that's fine. You could be more of a divine masculine person, perfectly fine. But we all have a divine feminine component. And understanding that femininity, that receptiveness, that surrendered, chaotic storminess, and using it for good, using it for empowerment, using it for significant contribution is a totally different thing than using it for destruction, which it can easily be used for that. And I feel that there's like getting like the hang of it. Right? That's the word that's coming to my mind. You're getting a hang of it. You're getting like, oh, like, okay, this is how you're getting familiar with how that really works. And that's a beautiful thing. So we have 10 of coins, Hanged Man. Oh, the Empress right next to the Goddess. Basically the same energy, right? Goddess, Empress, feminine, Venus qualities, which does not surprise me given the fact that Venus is retrograde. I feel like I'm just going to be repeating myself over and over and over all through the January readings, December and January readings because of this transit. We have 2 of Cups, the World, and we have 3 of Coins. Okay. I feel like there's a lot of readiness, which has also been a theme for 2021. There's a lot of readiness for this abundance, which is kind of a blanket term that we use for whatever you want to call it, whatever you want it to be. And abundance can be money, abundance can be fulfillment, it can be satisfaction, it can be love, indulgence, sensual pleasures, it can be all sorts of things. But there's a readiness for this abundance, 10 of Coins. And even the Hanged Man is also a deeply surrendered state. I feel like really good things are coming your way. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not really one of those readers that like perpetuates, you know, oh, it's coming, it's coming. Although sometimes that's the message, it's coming, right? But, and it is, like, I think it is. It's just, you're like in the perfect position to receive things right now. Because I feel that there's patience. Sometimes the Hanged Man keeps us hung up until we come into an acceptance of our situation, until we come into an acceptance of how little control we have over most things. When we finally like succumb to that, that's when he's like, okay, you can get down off this tree now. You've learned how to completely go with the current. You've learned how to completely, so much femininity coming through. And with the 2 of Cups in the World, I feel like your world is changing so subtly. Like if you were to look out right now, you may still see drama, you may still see financial difficulty, you may still see no romantic partner. Like you may see a little bit of scarcity and lack. But I think this world is like, don't be fooled by what you see. Don't be fooled by what you're observing out there right now, because remember, what you're looking at is a reflection of the past. You're already in your head 10 steps ahead of where you are now. It takes the world a little while to creep up, but I do see, for those of you who are wanting romantic partnerships, that's definitely going to be a theme for the next couple of months. 2 of Cups, 10 of Coins. I feel like there could be something on the horizon that, you know, really has longevity to it. I prefer a 2 of Cups over a Lovers any day of the week, because a 2 of Cups it's like the friendship with the romance. It's like both. And then with the 10 of Coins, it's like, oh, this is going to like something that'll last forever. It's like marriage quality, marriage material, marriage stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you just keep doing what you're doing. 3 of Coins. This is you in your zone, by the way. This is you in your whole, like, going to work, taking the dog out for the walk, going to get your morning coffee, meeting your friends for drinks later. Like, this is your 3 of Coins stuff. This is just you just living your life and being really in that flow. So much like, wow, I'm like actually kind of taken aback by this reading. I was not expecting the feeling that I'm getting. Like, I am getting excited. Like, I actually am a little bit more clairsentient, you know, like some people are more clairvoyant, claircognizant, whatever. I'm very clairsentient. I feel the emotion and I feel excitement. I feel the energy of someone laughing. I feel of multiple people laughing, actually, like, you know, like someone that makes you laugh so hard you have to pee your pants kind of thing. Like, I feel that. I'm feeling comfort and I'm feeling peace. And the way you're getting it is via the divine feminine attribute. So much power coming through that. Desire, also a very feminine kind of thing. Interesting. Pile 1, we had the 7th house energy. Pile 2, we had the Libra, so a lot of romantic partnership qualities coming through that. And desire is very sexual. It's very creative. It's very spiritual, driven by will. And I feel like when we mix the divine feminine with fire, which is actually a masculine element, there's a really beautiful balance. But the way that you are exhibiting your masculine energy, your divine masculine, is through the desire itself. I don't see you exhibiting masculine energy through your day-to-day operations right now. It's not about your ambition and going out there and getting it. It's receiving it. Right? You don't go out and get it, you just receive it. Two completely different ways of manifestation, and both are perfectly valid. Right now, we're leaning more toward the receptive, but the desire is what keeps it alive. It's what keeps you attuned to that particular frequency. I think you're doing a really, really good job. For all of you who have your own, you know, rituals and your own beliefs and your own practices and your own meditations and all, like, we all have our own special and unique practice. And I think the world, right, the world turning over is really responding to what you're doing. So keep it up. Meditate and contemplate. I'm actually leaning a little bit more toward the contemplation energy. And actually, I'm going to throw in another word, visualization, to keep that visual in your mind. And when you contemplate sitting, you know, on your favorite spot, you know, your little reading nook or by the window with your cup of coffee, watching the snow or the river, or the street traffic or whatever, when you're in that special place that you love to be, just indulge in daydreams. Indulge in the feeling, indulge in the emotion of whatever this abundance represents for you. Because I see you having it, 10 of coins. You have it here. There's a physicality to it. I think this reading is confirmation for a lot of you who have been maybe losing a little bit of hope. Who've been like, man, it's not coming, it's not coming, it's not coming. These cards are like, no, it is. We have to remember how difficult the transits have been the past few years. Some of us have been through a lot with all the Venus stuff since like 2014, right? Has not been super easy. The end of it, oh, there you go. The end of a tough cycle approaches. It might be a long cycle. This is Capricorn energy. We may be talking about a Saturnian cycle for a lot of you. Maybe not like a whole like Saturn return period or anything, but there may be people out there who have had significant Saturn transits, maybe one after the next, who just haven't been able to really escape that quality of just like continually hitting up against these obstacles. I feel like there's a melting. I'm looking at this Hanged Man. I'm getting the word melting. Things are melting away. Mental conflict. I also have to pull out this card, which says sacrifice. Pisces with sacrifice is not a surprising set of cards. I feel that there is a part of you, mental conflict. There is a part of you that absolutely believes that you have to exert physical effort. Now, I'm not saying you never ever have to exert physical effort in order to achieve something. A lot of things will require that. But I'm also saying that that is not the only way. This is like Merlin type stuff, right? This is like wave your magic wand and it comes to you. It's that kind of magic. And I feel that there is that part of you that doesn't quite believe. It's like you believe in your conscious mind, but in the subconscious programming that, you know, the world told you, you have to work hard for everything you have. Money doesn't grow on trees. You know, whatever your parents told you, whatever educational system told you, whatever culture told you, you know, every culture has its own stuff. With all that stuff being shoved down your throat, you're now in mental conflict between the natural instinct to move into this divine feminine quality or to keep the old way alive. I'm telling you, the masculine effort for you right now is not going to be effective. This is absolutely a week to engage in lots of visualization, contemplation. We have the blue chakra energy represented. So communicating, talking, saying things out loud, reciting things, even writing things down. Very magical for you. And I feel that this sacrifice is actually a sacrifice of a belief more than it is anything else. Sacrificing your belief that it has to be done a certain way. Learn through this. You get to learn through this particular experience. You get to learn how to manifest in this way. You get to learn how to create in a way that the world has told you doesn't work. Or it's impossible. And here you are saying, no, I'm pretty sure it's possible. Because all of the metaphysical books, all of the, you know, mystery school stuff and all the mystical readings. It's like pretty, there's a big library out there, right? Lots of you have really engaged with it. So, I mean, there's a big library of knowledge out there and they all pretty much say the same thing. And, this is you operating from that ancient mystery school way, from the real way. Play more, yeah. This is supposed to be fun. That's why the goddess energy is here. It is supposed to be like a joy. It's not supposed to be blood, sweat, and tears. Not this time, not this thing, not for you, not now. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be like a game. And trust. Trust that it will occur, that it will turn around, world. Trust that being held up on this tree is the absolute best method for you right now. The universe doing you a huge favor by keeping you suspended right now. Dawn, new beginnings. Which, this is one of the things, right? Abundance, manifestation, new beginnings, transformation. These are all words that like a tarot reader and an astrologer, we say these words over and over and over and over like 20 million times a day. And yet they still have power to them if you truly understand them. It's easy for these words to get washed out, to fade into the background. But they do have oomph, right? They have gusto. New beginnings literally happen every single day. And I feel like there is this new dawn arising for you as this world is turning over. There is a whole new life on the horizon. There is a whole new way of living life. And I think you are in the education process of that right now, of what it means to truly create that. Opportunity knocks, go for it. That's the play energy, connection with the pink. It's the play energy. I think the universe is going to say, is this person really ready to experiment? Is this person really ready to go off track? Is this person ready just to see? I think the more and more you say yes to things, the more and more you'll realize how close you are to those things. That's the Three of Coins. Just say yes to things. There is a strange organization to the chaos, for sure. But that's not really up for you to worry about. Okay? All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you with that. Beautiful reading. Have an amazing week. You guys know I absolutely adore you. Have a fantastic time, and I'll see you soon. Take care.